The woman sprawled across the wing, unscrewing the fuel tank cap. From inside the cockpit, the man handed her a bottle of liquor. She inched her way toward the fuel tank opening, bit off the bottle cap, and started pouring the alcohol into the tank. The turbulence from the air currents made Lisa lose her grip and the bottle fell. Jack quickly pulled out another bottle of liquor. This time, she managed to empty the entire bottle of high-proof alcohol into the fuel tank. They had no choice. It was their only shot at survival. The fuel gauge began to climb noticeably. One bottle wasn't enough, so they tried another. With 2 bottles in the tank, the gauge rose to 10%. A glimmer of hope appeared. Jack pulled out their last remaining bottle, but the plane hit sudden turbulence, and the final bottle shattered. Lisa had no choice but to crawl back, moving from the wing to the side of the aircraft, using momentum to make it safely back into the cabin. Jack said he'd spotted an island where they could make an emergency landing. Lisa glanced at the fuel gauge. This amount wouldn't last long. After wrestling with the decision, Lisa chose to trust Jack. She climbed back into the pilot's seat and turned the plane around, heading back to search for the island Jack had mentioned. Both of them stared intently at the ocean below, afraid to miss it. After searching for what felt like forever, there was still no sign of the island. Looking at the endless ocean surrounding them, and then at the fuel gauge filled them with despair. 5 more minutes passed, and the fuel needle was about to hit empty, but they still hadn't found the island. The plane suddenly began to shudder, and then the propeller stopped spinning. The plane entered glide mode. Their hearts sank. Their only hope now rested on that island somewhere ahead as they prepared for an emergency landing. But with the plane powerless, whether they'd survive was entirely up to fate. As they continued losing altitude, Lisa gripped the control stick with all her might, trying desperately to keep the plane stable. At the last moment, Lisa pulled up slightly. The wheels touched the ocean surface, and the massive impact flipped the plane over. The two hung suspended in the cabin as seawater rushed in. Within moments, the plane sank to the ocean floor. In this life-or-death moment, Lisa came to first. She tried to wake the unconscious Jack, but he didn't respond. With seawater about to fill the entire cabin, Lisa summoned all her strength to push open the door and drag the unconscious Jack to the surface. After some desperate first aid, Jack gradually regained consciousness. But just as they were celebrating their narrow escape, they noticed the water had already reached their feet. Lisa instantly realized something was wrong. The so-called island was nothing more than a shallow sandbar that would disappear at high tide. The emotional whiplash from hope to despair left Lisa devastated. As the water level continued to rise, the sandbar kept shrinking. Soon, the seawater had completely submerged them, with only their tiptoes barely touching the ground.